Call to order the agreement with Redevelopment Commission on this the 14th day of May of 2024. May I have a roll call, please?
Mr. Harris,
Present.
Mr. Hopper,
Here.
Mr. Hoover,
Here.
Mr. Miller.
Here.
Appears to let the record show that Mr. Campbell is absent and non-voting advisor, Mr. Zaborowski.
Here.
Thank you.
This is true. Mr. Campbell will not make it today. Is there a motion to approve our minutes from our April 9th meeting? So moved. Motion by Mr. Hoover. Is there a second? Second. Second by Mr. Miller. Any corrections, additions, deletions? Hearing none. All those in favor, aye. 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 Those opposed, nay. Minutes are approved 4-0. No new business. Old business. None. Capital project report. Madison and Meridian streetscape improvements. Professional service agreement with Rundle Hertzberger Associates.
Yeah, this is for the public work that's being done, well, not today, it's rain, but other days in front of the 523 development that the city is sponsoring a share of. And this will allow us to have some inspection money on all the landscape. You've seen they've been putting in some trees, and the fence came down, and they've been getting the sidewalks in and on-street parking down at the building. So Rundle Hertzberger will have some hours for this $8,500 payable from the central tip to go and do some field reports and make sure that what is being installed is meeting our expectations and requirements of the city.
Any questions for Kevin? Hearing none, is there a motion to approve?
So approved. So
Harris.
motion.
Sir,
I got
second.
ahead of myself.
second.
Second by Mr. Hoover. All right. All those in favor, aye.
Aye.
Aye. All those opposed, nay. 4-0. Main Street streetscape improvements, PSA with Louisville, Indiana Railroad.
Yeah, so one project we've been working on is Main Street from where the improvement's currently in Meridian out past the interstate. We have one section in design, which is Meridian to Polk. As such, we cross the railroad track, and just like Duke last month, for the railroad to even think about you doing any work there, they get to charge you. We're not doing anything in Marks here that really impacts or change the railroad any, but because we'll be working within so many feet of them, we have to pay up, make an agreement up front with their company to pay their engineers to even look at our plan, which I believe is not to exceed 21,000. That was listening there.
I honestly did not.
Yeah,
That's what I see.
21,000. So this is again, so good work if you can get it. Maybe even better with the railroad. I always tell people that they're like the only industry that every single person encounters each time you fill out a basic tax return. It's like, unless you're in the railroad pension. So it's something we have to do if you're gonna get allowed to even pave a road close to it. So I'd ask that you approve from the Eastern Main Street, or sorry, downtown tip, the $21,000 reimbursable agreement with, I believe that is the Louisville and Indiana Railroad Company, so that they can make sure that our improvements don't jeopardize anything of theirs.
Still improve upon their non-improved.
Correct. Yeah, and as I said, Mark, here we have no plans to do anything substantial at all. This is just, and assuming we do take this to a project, eventually it's our expectation that we will have to pay or reimburse for their flaggers, correct? Even if we're just paving close to them. So
Questions for Kevin? Hearing none, is there a motion to approve? So, is there a second?
I'll second.
Second by Mr. Harris. All those in favor, aye. Aye. All those opposed, nay. Motion approved 4-0.
thank you. And the only other thing I have is just informational. Someone asked when the sports park went open, Rob says September. they're gonna try to get some fall ball in on it. So it's really coming along, all the church said, and headed towards the end of that. So I'll have to defer any future questions to Rob. So.
Hey, Kevin, I understand you're the city's representative at the Aspire.
No, we actually changed. You were gonna get to see a brand new face, not from the city, not these brand new, but new. It's Gabe Nelson, who planning director's gonna come because I talked to Aspire, and on the topic for discussion is gonna be the comprehensive plan, because I guess Whiteland is doing theirs as well. And Gabe has shepherded that thing now as quite a big project, and so he is gonna go and talk about that, and is way more excited than I was to go to the Madison County Museum.
But I was gonna be able to give you some grief.
Well, give Gabe all the grief.
Moderate
He
it.
prepped for your questions, so you should give him all the grief.
Okay.
So, but he's ready to go. So.
Okay.
I told him Mayor Barnett normally takes up a lot of it. It's only an hour. Normally
Takes up all year.
has a lot to say. So.
All right, thank you, sir. Financial report, monthly financial report, annual determination of excess assessed value.
Yep. Good afternoon. This is Adam. I'm on the Zoom. Can you hear me okay?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Awesome. Hey, nothing new to report on the monthly. We do have one compliance item for the Redevelopment Commission's consideration today. It's the annual determination of excess assessed value. Just as a reminder, this is one of the required items that the RDC has to provide a determination by June 15th to all of the overlapping taxing units in preparation of their budget and planning for 2025, with its intention to either hold or release any excess assessed value. I believe in your packets there was a draft of that memo. We have made a few different calculations as well as it relates to some of the requirements in that. I'm happy to share my screen and walk through that and then answer if there's any questions. Can someone let me know when you can see this?
We got it.
Okay, so the first page or so really just talks through the specific requirements. Again, required by statute to notify them each by June 15th, which is why it's on the May agenda. There was some additional reporting requirements, which added in this 200% classification as well. So in sort of layman's terms, if there's 200% excess calculated, then both the Redevelopment Commission and the council actually have to review this determination as well. For every allocation area within Greenwood, currently, based on a conservative project schedule, all of the areas are below the 200% threshold. So it is our understanding that the Redevelopment Commission would be able to make that determination at its own level. The summary here, you can see for page 25, the estimated AVs are not out yet. They won't be out until the fall. So we're using the most recent valuation data that we do have from the county for all the different allocation areas that are currently active, and putting together a TIF revenue forecast for next year based on the existing rates, known debt service obligations on those, and then conservatively which capital projects we know are committed to. A note on the capital projects, this is really what is encumbered. The actual capital improvement plan is much more significant than that, because you can imagine every allocation area has its own economic development plan that has projects that are contemplated and desired, but not yet initiated. Two prime examples of that would be the Main Street project as well as Smith Valley, neither which are materially in any of these capital project numbers for 2025, but certainly in the plans and in the works. So those would just be additional commitments on TIF revenues in the future, in addition to the debt outstanding against the various different areas. So the first few pages really just kind of provide the written summary, and then the additional pages here, which I'll make sure Amanda gets the final version for the packet, for the record, I should say, is the actual calculations by area that show the estimated 2025 tax increment, any known project commitments that were estimated at this time as probable for next year, and the coverage calculations for every area. So from our perspective, we feel like all of these are below the 200% threshold. Historically speaking, the Greenwood Redevelopment Commission has historically found that there is no excess assessed value. I would also add, because of those two projects that are going to be significant, both Main Street and Smith Valley, that are still in the very early stages of scoping and cost. Those are, as you can imagine, pretty significant cost projects that will need a fair amount of TIF resources, both from surplus revenues as well as fund balances on hand from TIFs that can contribute. So with that, I'll pause there and see if there are any questions.
Just for the record, I talked with Adam about this, and there was one other project that I would mention as well, and that is the Stones Crossing road upgrade project, complete from the roundabout 135, and that's on the plan as I understand it, and it will be not a cheap project either. Yep.
All right. So is there a motion to find no excess value to be released?
So moved.
Mr. Hoover, is there a second?
I'll second.
Second by Mr. Harris. Any questions, comments from everybody? All right, hearing none, roll call, please. Or, all those in favor, aye. Aye. All those opposed, nay. All right, motion is approved.
That's all I have. Thank you all. Have a nice night.
Thanks, Adam, you too.
Thanks, Adam.
Department reports, anything from the Corporation Counsel's office?
Nothing Corporation Council.
Sir, Mr. Watson?
Nothing tonight, sir.
From the city controller? Guessing no. Mr. St. John, the floor is yours, sir.
Good afternoon, Mark St. John, city engineer. We had one item on the agenda tonight. It was award of a contract for the Market Plaza project. That project was successfully stated last Tuesday. Abel Merrill was a low bid. They were pretty much right exactly on the engineer's estimate at $1,505,669. After some conversation with the city controller, he is interested in using ARPA funds to fund this project, which would not be administered through the RDC. So I'll actually be taking this contract to the Board of Public Works next week for their approval. So no action you needed tonight, but it was on the agenda, so I wanted to provide an update.
All right, sounds great. Appreciate it. Anything from the mayor's office? Is there a motion to approve our claims docket? $629,503.77. Is that the right one?
I was going to clarify that too. Check the one that I
Do
got.
we
my
need to
email.
include these Duke Energy invoices, or are they already?
Hey, what was the amount you said that?
629,503.77. I don't think that includes some amounts that were supposed to be added for Duke and HWC. So
Cover page of what was sent to us most recently was 629,503.77.
that does not have these amounts. $65,052.37. Looks like. Right, it's quite a bit. Well, there's one for 178,000 for Duke Energy over there for this. Sure, it's close enough. We have the hard copy. Does it look like it's the final one? I don't think these don't correspond to these numbers, so I don't think they're.
I believe they're looking at, we'd have to do two different motions based on what Rita sent out. It's not clear
Let's do one for the 629 and then do one for
for
the
the additionals.
additionals.
Mhm.
Because it says to be added to the document. Seems like that would be.
So you don't like the idea of just doing 865?
Oh, no, I-
Yeah,
Only have one sign.
we'll take a minute. We'll figure it out.
You can motion it so that you approve it, assuming these three amounts are already included, but if not, up to those three amounts that are to be added. Something like that covers from having reapproved. I think I know what.
Second.
Yes.
Yeah, the easier thing could be just approve them separately,
Okay.
if they are separate pages.
All right. So we'll start with the motion to approve the regular claims docket.
About the regular claims docket though, I'm a little concerned about the total. Because if
I
you
don't
flip
think those 2
through,
points add up. I got a lot of.
cross through those, yeah.
Yeah.
And that's why I'm concerned about that, and without, running the tape on that, I'm sure that
Well, if we go by just the first page, if you mark everything out, it does come out to $6,314.60 for the first.
Approve something conditionally on someone's approval, so they had an opportunity to digest it. Give that to the president.
I think, in general, I'm good with that. What we might do is, what you have as the hard copy matches up with what was sent emailed to us. And instead of tying it so much to the total, just reference this version of the claims docket with its markups and so forth.
Well, I think the markups, is from what I can see so far,
think that
are
Front
covered.
page matches up with that.
Assuming they did the math correctly.
Okay.
But we can do it either way.
Wrote that closer to mine. So it looks like there's just two that were changed.
No,
Two of the sections were changed,
The first 3 so far,
but they, do the total numbers match up with what's,
they match up with what's marked out there
okay.
so far.
It looks like that's a separately generated front page. And it's intended to match up with the markups.
That's. Is that right? Is this a running total, the blues? It's got 400 some odd thousand on it, but it only responds to 218,000. See it marked out. So. So this is where we need Greg to show up to the meeting. What night we need it. I'm happy to come back in and sign anything once they get this all straightened out. If we want to make some sort of a motion to that effect once we, not to exceed, what did I say, 800 and some odd thousand, if you add up this one and the $865,052.37. If you add up this additional one with Rick. That's okay.
Yeah, you can do
Use that number,
It's not to exceed.
865, what?
865,52.37.
And I would reference marked up purchase.
The commission approved the docket that we have been presented, an amount not to exceed $865,052.37.
And that would include both main docket and the additional.
Yes.
Sounds good. That includes my authority to come in and sign it.
Authorize the president to come back to me.
Perfect. All right, motion by Mr. Hoover. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Mr. Harris.
Will
Any questions?
Mr. Harris and I also have to come back in. and sign it?
That's a good question.
I'm supposed to.
They have all three of you on the
All three of
dockets.
our
to sign.
office, yeah. That's all right.
May not be tomorrow.
All right, all those in favor, aye?
Aye.
All right, motion approved.
And will Rita let us know when it's ready? Or will you?
I will get with them
Somebody follow
tomorrow. I will, Greg will, or Rita will. One
Okay.
of us.
Yeah, it's just a little hard to follow with all the markups and then some of these. I don't know, yeah. All right. Anything else? Nobody is left in the room, but us sitting at the dais, so I'm gonna go with nobody in the room. Anybody on the interwebs want to say anything? Adam, Amanda? Okay.
No.
All right, hearing nothing, we are adjourned.